right, guys, welcome back once again around the table. So, last episode we ended off with a bit of a cliffhanger, I do believe. Younger woman screaming at you from the back of a cart. Can you guys tell me from your character's perspective what happened last game?
My character, as soon as I heard a scream, stayed outside. You guys are the ones that ran in.
The way I see it, we done goofed. Something fierce. We had been sent on a simple retrieval mission and made it all the way out, or made it most of the way out there to these folks we were supposed to bring back, and I'll be gosh darned if we weren't captured by a set of dragons, dragonborn.
And some lizard folk.
Dragonkin. We can edit that, right?
You described him as dragonborn.
Well, after making our way free and heading back to camp, we had a nice talk with our leader of our group, Gregory, to inform him of what happened, and then to inform him again of what happened after he seemed to slip a little bit, and then reported what actually happened to his second-in-command, Steph. After which, we worked our way back to the camp when we started to realize that those dragonkin, they were moving in strange patterns out of their territories that they normally do, which normally indicates that one of the great dragons is about to move.
And they were working together, different tribes.
Which is just weird. Normally at very much odds with one another. Well, my curiosity, we shall say, was piqued. Made our way back to their camp, where we discovered that the bodies that we had left in our actual wake, were infected with this strange disease, causing them to rot from the inside. Only one of them was still left in the camp, hiding in the very cart that they had kept us prisoner in. We bound him and extracted some spidery remains. Well, egg sacs, I guess. They had looked a lot like what a spider leaves behind, from some tumors on his body, at which point he attempted to bite into us. Some quick thinking we avoided having Dain get teeth sunk into his face, and
Really weird crown.
I made certain that the problem wasn't a problem anymore. At this point, we found several ledgers showing just more food and medicine than we've ever seen in our entire life coming in and out of some location, and found 2 sacks filled with strange, smooth-skinned creatures you might just call a human. We attempted to bring them back to camp, at which point they woke up and, let's just say they reacted to old Morg and the gang, calling us monsters and insisting that the dragonkin were nothing but slaves and not something to be feared. Well, sounds like somebody needs a history lesson.
All right, guys, so, I constantly ask you guys to give me a fun fact about your characters. Morg?
Well, hey there, friend. This is old Morgenstern Drakebait. You can call me Morg. Fun fact for this week is that my twin boys originally, honest to God, thought that they were going to be triplets, and I did not know what we were going to do. We had just secured enough spots for Trix and Ilya, and then one child and myself to go into the Golden Halls. But tell you what, old Morg's got some work to do, because there were 2. At least there weren't 3, and I'm not running around with a baby strapped to me.
That's helpful. All right, Guul.
Hi, I'm Guul. My fun fact: I accidentally proposed to my wife. She had this stone, it was passed down in her family, and she lost, and when we found it, I wanted to make it so she wouldn't lose it so easily, and I made a metal band and put it on her and ended up proposing.
I can't wait to run into your wife. All right, Dean.
Fun fact, if you want to call it that, is my one true and great annoyance in life, currently at least, is listening to Morg endlessly prattle on about his goddamn children. There's nothing I can stand less than listening to that man just talk and talk and talk and talk about his children.
Well, buckle
I
up,
really
buddy.
want to just reach out and with the might of my God, just slap the fuck out of him.
Buckle up, buddy, because there's a lot more coming.
Leave my kids alone.
So as we open back up on our campaign, the sun is beginning to set. You guys have settled down in camp, and one of the two humans have awoken, screamed, and is quite confused by your existence. Now, monsters, take me back. I told you I am not supposed to be here.
You keep saying monsters, friend, but, you're the strangest thing that I've seen in quite a while.
I doubt that greatly.
Well,
Excuse me. You keep saying you want to be taken back. How would we go about getting you back even if we knew where to take you?
You would walk me back like you're supposed to.
but walk you back where, exactly?
To the Golden City. The one in the mountains. The ones worshipped by gods. We have walked among them for years. You should know who we are. I don't understand.
Are you talking about the golden halls beneath the mountains?
Yes. Those are our cities. Now, if I stay out here too long, I am going to burn. So if you don't mind, can we get back?
Friend, what's your name? So we don't have to keep calling you friend.
Oh. My name?
Please.
Do you not know my name? Do you not know who I am?
I do not know who you are. My name's Dain. Dain Steelfist. How are you?
I am obviously distraught.
Obviously. But it's nice to meet you, because we have not met before. I don't know how to get you back to the Golden City that you speak of.
Hi, distraught. I'm Morg.
Well played.
Now, if you can't keep a civil tongue in your mouth, maybe you best keep it closed, friend.
Fine. You can call me Zesera. Zesera. I can't pronounce the name I wrote.
Zesera?
Tim.
Zesera.
Male Gale.
Male Gale. No.
This is why we always end up with people named Kyle
Yep.
and other simple names.
Ah, the DM. I can weave a beautiful story, but I can't name anything. Yeah. I think I'm going to start leaving to people on our Patreon. They can just name things, and I'll just use that.
Well, yeah, that seems to be what everyone else does, so...
It's easier.
Yeah. Just steal their tags.
Yep.
Yep.
But no, her name is Zesera. Zesera.
Nice to meet you, Zesera. And, who's your sleeping companion there?
I told you before, I don't know. I don't recognize him. I can tell you he's below me.
Well, he's laying on the ground.
Yes. No.
Ha,
But
beat you to it.
Okay, fine, you got that one.
he is not from my family.
Oh, you don't know who he is?
I don't need to. They should know who I am. I'm important. He is not.
So let's pretend like I'm a child and don't know exactly why you're important or what family it is you're referring to. Where exactly is your Golden City? Because I've been to the Golden Halls myself, and I have never seen anyone of your like.
My Golden City sets below the mountains to the west. It is opened onto the sea, and the sun sets at our feet. Our family has ruled for millennia. All of the cities report to us, all of them on this land.
Maybe back where you come from they do, but gotta be quite frank with you, I don't believe we've ever heard of you. Were you who we were supposed to get from the caravan there?
What caravan? I don't even know what happened. I was told that I was supposed to slumber. We were going to sleep for 10 years. And then everything would be taken care of. And the little blight on the land that was causing problems and making it so food was scarce was going to be gone. And everything was going to be fine. And I woke up in the back of a cart in a bag.
How do you think your plan went?
It should have went fine. Our wizards guaranteed us.
Funny thing about wizards is they can guarantee a lot of things in theory, but in practice it doesn't always turn out that way.
No, ours are the best in the land. It is never an issue. What has happened, and why am I here? And take me back. I don't understand why it is an issue. Also, why are we using such simple carts? At what point in time did we stop using machinery?
Machinery? Like constructs?
Machinery, you put a little water in, and they drive, and they move, and they float through the sky. Machinery, like machines.
You keep saying the word. It doesn't change the fact I don't know what that is.
I'm trying to figure out why you don't know what it is. They're everywhere.
Look around. They're nowhere.
Where am I?
Well, you're about south of Screwed and slightly to the east of In Over Your Head. You keep talking as though this thing that was supposed to happen definitely happened. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think it did. Whatever you went to sleep for got goofed up.
You know what? Just take me to who's in charge, and we will get all of this taken care of. They will know who I am. I'm important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Boys, why don't we take her to who's in charge? I'm going to attempt to start moving the cart once again. Oh!
You can do it.
So, you said out west.
Yes.
My family land is a town called Bumboulder. Do you know of the dwarven town?
Bumboulder is east of us. They're on the other side of the mountain. The Dwarven Forge?
It's been destroyed for over 300 years.
No, it hasn't. I was just there last week, and I picked up my new armor and my jewelry. It was fine.
No, my
Last
grandfather
300 or more years
would have
ago.
been 400 years old last year. He's been dead for 50 years.
No.
He grew up in Bumboulder. It was destroyed. We were ran out of there
No.
a long time ago.
No, I was just there. The forges were running fine. Everything was taken care of. We've done trade with them for centuries.
I'm going to tell you my name again, and I'll ask you who was the blacksmith that worked on your armor. My name was Dain Steelfist. My grandfather, Grun Steelfist, apprenticed under his father, was at the Steelfist Armory.
So you watch as her face goes even more pale than it already is. And the color almost drains from her eyes as you mention the Steelfist family and you name off two people that she doesn't recognize. Her entire demeanor begins to change.
You mentioned the plague. That started over 300 years ago.
It was supposed to be just a small blight. No big deal. It only affected the lizard folk and a few of the dragonborns, and we executed them as soon as we found out they were at an issue. And it wasn't a problem.
It's
the moment they
been
showed
a problem for us for our entire lives. I don't remember a time that this blight, as you refer to it as, hasn't existed.
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
How long have you been asleep?
They said we were only going to be asleep for no more than 10 years. It was going to take nothing to get the resources back, and they were only putting us to sleep because that way we didn't have to deal with the people. It was
What's your family name?
We are the Strongborns. We have ruled for as long as the sun has touched this land. The Dragonborns serve us. The dragonkin we make for our purposes.
Do I recognize the Strongborn's name?
No.
Okay.
I'd like to take a look through the ledgers that we found, see if I can find any dates in there to see how old these ledgers are.
Yeah, roll investigation.
Nothing that my grandfather would have mentioned either. Okay.
23.
Flipping through, you realize that originally when you guys had looked through them, you thought you recognized the dates as being recent. You're now realizing that these are century old. And though the books look as if they were written days ago, the names in these cities, the dates are written in a way that you no longer write dates.
My gut just sinks. I was hoping that this would be a way for us to replenish our supplies or even bolster them, but
You're seeing it now too, aren't you?
How exactly were you put to sleep?
It was like a pod. We stepped down into a pool. The wizards told us it would only be 10 years and they would wake us when it was done.
Do you remember the wizard?
It wasn't important.
Fair.
Feels pretty darn important
It
now.
would be amazing to know that name.
They weren't important for me to learn. My father dealt with that. It was only supposed to be 10 years.
It hasn't been 10 years.
These ledgers are older than even our memory goes back. Centuries old.
No.
Yeah, no. You're going to start in with that note was just yesterday, and it was not. It was a while back.
That doesn't make sense.
Do you know anything about the red The green or the black?
No.
You don't know about the dragons?
What dragons? Dragons were almost completely wiped from the earth. There was none left.
No, these are ancient, old dragons. They've had us basically imprisoned for the past 300 years.
That doesn't even make sense. There was the only thing left of dragons were a small collection of dragonborn, and on a rare occasion, some of the wizards would raise dragonkin if we needed an army, and those were easily destroyed.
So you mentioned that you made the dragonkin. You said that they were raised,
Yes.
as in from corpses.
No, you pull them from eggs.
Ah.
I mean, I don't know all of the details of it. It wasn't important for me.
Okay,
Wonder
stories.
if this other one
though.
has any more practical knowledge.
Stories. Did you ever hear any stories of Corin or Serendad,
No.
Grun the Pestilent? Even stories of from your childhood.
I mean, there was an old fairy tale with Brun the Pestilent that spoke. Oh, how did that go? It was a nursery rhyme. I don't remember.
That's okay.
But there was mention of him. It was spoken of he would rise from the shadow and walk on the earth, and when his feet touched, the crops would die. And when his breath breathed, the fish would turn. And it wasn't until he went back to sleep that all would return back to normal. I mean, I don't remember the exact words for it, but it was a stupid little story.
Yeah, just a story.
Can I try to wake the other one?
You can try.
Medicine check?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that would be an 11.
Yeah. He's asleep. You're not sure why. Definitely asleep. Still breathing, but really shallow and very far between.
Whatever was going on with her is still affecting this one. We had some sort of idea what it was. Maybe I might be able to bring him out, but
Did anything happen before she woke up that anyone noticed? I don't think, other than walking away from that camp.
nope. Not that I recall.
Okay.
So, really, though, we probably shouldn't be standing out here just
No,
John. There's a strong chance if the tribes are moving, they're going to find us and maybe eat this one.
So,
Or us.
Zasara, I hate to ask you of this, but while we travel, would you mind hiding? I don't think it's safe for you to be out and to be seen. Even if you just ride in the cart underneath some stuff. Just...
Fine.
I really think it's for the best.
I will set in the
Well,
cart.
she's about as tall as an elf. We get a cloak around her or something.
That might work too. I mean, we're all a little bit shorter, so I don't think. Does anybody got a long cloak on them? I mean, mine drags in the mud a little bit, but
I don't think any of you would have a long enough cloak to cover
nothing
her.
long enough, no.
we be the kneecappas for a reason.
Blanket?
A blanket would work, but also, I mean,
We did say we would take any blankets or anything useful out of the
Yeah.
cart. So
and you guys did get some. That's not going well. So, that being said, she does climb back into the cart. You can tell she is distraught. Her entire demeanor has changed. Her attitude towards you has changed. She's trying to process the fact that there is a good probability that everything that she knew was gone and everyone that she loved is dead. Like, she's not doing well. So,
How old is she, roughly?
about 17, 18.
Okay.
She's young. Well, plus 300 or 400 years. But as far as like waking up, she's about 17, 18. So you notice that her entire demeanor has changed. And she's very pulled into herself now. She's sitting in the back of the cart. Her head's hung low. And she reaches over and you watch her grab the other person's who's passed out. She grabs their hand and she holds on to it. And she's watching you out of the side of her eye, but she assumes that you can't see her doing this.
Can I do an insight to see if she was lying about knowing that individual?
Yeah.
Okay. Oof, that could be higher. Be a 5.
As far as you know, she was lying. She may just be reaching out for comfort.
Do I notice her reaching out and doing this?
Yeah.
Okay. As she's doing it, I want to walk up to her and just say, "My child, do you mind if I share a prayer with you?"
I suppose.
Moradin, please take the distress this child is experiencing right now and comfort her and bring her peace in this horrible time of upheaval. Please show her guidance and love. Help her through this time of distress. Moradin be with you, my child.
I don't think I've heard of Moradin. One of the dwarven gods, I assume.
One of the dwarven gods. He is the great protector.
Not one we worship. But I respect it all the same.
Who are some of your gods? Maybe I know their names.
We don't have names for ours. They're beings of the nameless. They gain power from the ocean, from the sun, from the wind. It is with this that we rise. But I like the idea of Morden. It's nice to have a name that you can say on your lips.
It's nice to have someone willing to believe.
I'm not sure I have anything else to believe in now. And she turns away from you and kind of lowers her head onto her legs and pulls her knees into herself. And she's stopped talking. She's shut down.
Make our way back to camp.
Not an issue. Is anyone keeping an eye on her?
I'm pushing the cart, keeping an eye on her.
Okay.
While they're trying
I'll-
to pull.
Yeah. I was gonna say if you're probably the only one of us who could
There's a reason
fully
I'm back there by her.
muscle,
Yep.
and then
If you guys can steer, I can push.
all right.
Okay. So
make
you're
our way
steering and
back
pushing.
to,
Make your way back. Roll a perception check for me. And because you're behind her for multiple hours, roll with advantage.
Ghoul's gonna be asking you what all happened because he stayed away because he knows kobolds are not
13.
well liked.
13.
Give you the breakdown of
You watch her for a while, but she just looks distraught and sad and very pulled in and very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to believe she's royalty. The way she's looking right now.
Does that continue journey back to camp, or do we take small breaks here and there?
It's a little over a day and a half walk for you guys. It was nighttime, or the sun was just starting to set. So I would assume you guys stop for the night about partway back, rest, get a full rest, and then get up and start moving.
During that time, I'm going to take time during our long rest to invoke my new class feature, the infusions, and I'm going to one of my daggers. I'm going to spend some time polishing and bestow the throwing property on it, and then I'm going to use my glass blowing skill, which is a skill that I have, to create a large jug and infuse it to turn it into an alchemical pot.
Ooh.
Two of my get those all set up so that they're ready in case something happens.
Okay, and you could have 3 of those, correct?
Right now I can only have
2?
I have
Okay.
2 active at a time. I have 4 different infusions I can do.
Okay.
But those are the 2 that I'm preparing.
As your class is still kind of new
Yeah.
to me, so I'm still learning everything I do.
Me too. So first time I've played one.
Perfection.
Ghoul's gonna kind of cover himself completely with his cloak or everything and take her food.
Okay. She doesn't accept it. After the last conversation, she's shut down. She's completely pulled in herself.
Leaves it, a bowl on the floor, and just kind of backs away.
Okay.
I'll put my hand on her shoulder and, just as an act of kindness and compassion, cast lay on hands on her, just heal her up, get rid of any poisons or anything that might be affecting her.
Okay. So I need you to roll a d20 for me.
18?
18. When you cast that, you feel the spell itself actually push back in you, and where normally you would feel the release of the magic into her and her start to heal her or fix anything, it actually does the reverse. And you feel as that the magic passes and then comes back into you, and you feel a very strong warm sense pass over top of you, and then you feel a pain from where your hand is start to move up your hand and into your elbow, and it's only there for a second and then it disappears.
I had planned on doing the same thing to the other human. That makes me not. I withdraw. I still clasp her on the shoulder. I give her what strength I have, but then I kind of shrink back away from the group, and
The other thing you notice is when you cast that spell and you feel it, you watch as she winces in pain and pulls away from your hand. So all of that happened, you felt that, and you watch as she winces and pulls away and almost pulls back into herself, and she shoots daggers up at you and then looks back down, and that is the most contact you guys have gotten out of her, or reaction you've gotten out of her, since she shut down and went back to the back of the cart.
I don't say anything. I just back away from her.
Okay.
I'm going to sit by her after kind of food is served and we're eating, and just, a respectful distance, but within range where I can kind of talk to her. It's a really strange thing that day that your world completely changes. I remember when it was for me. I was running around. We had a great big family, about 30, 40 of us, and my parents were moving us from place to place looking for a better life, and we were mixing up their special drink, little brew that they like to use to warm the bellies and warm the hearts. I was there amongst my siblings. That's when Sir Dodd showed up. And I went from a first, middle, second, third child to just an older brother in an instant. And I remember feeling this pain deep inside of me, like nothing was ever going to replace all of those people. And you're allowed to feel that. You're allowed to feel that pain, but someday, might not be soon, you'll see that if you keep pushing, if you keep fighting, you can find a place for yourself wherever you are. And I know that might not land today. You might still think that I'm just a little monster, but I love my wife, love my kids. Got a daughter about your age right now, and I wish she could know the life that you were describing. With every fiber of my being, I wish that she could know that life that you're talking about. With automotrons and who's-its and whatever else malarkey you were talking about. It sounds nice. Worrying about there just being a little bit of a shortage of food as opposed to only enough food for so many people in a single place, but that's why I go out every single day. That's what drives me. Trying to find that future. You gotta think to yourself, what's gonna drive you? But really, for now, just for now, you should eat something. Nobody can drive on an empty belly. Pick up my bowl and I walk away.
After a moment, she reaches forward and grabs a hold of the bowl that's been at her feet and starts to pick at it. She doesn't finish all of it, only eats a small portion, and she sets the rest of the bowl next to the body.
Can I retry my insight roll, please?
Yeah.
Well, that's a 10, so it's better.
Better. She has familiarity with it. Obviously, you've noticed, small things here or there, but as far as you know, or as far as you're concerned, she still doesn't know who they are.
Back onto the camp.
All right. You guys can continue traveling without an issue, and you find your way back to the stronghold. That's, I say it was in the side of the cliff, or inside of the hill.
You did not.
It is inside of the hill. It's a cavern. You drop down. It's like a cave area. So it is underground, and it's kind of covered up, but you guys get there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I found a spell. As we're pushing, as I'm standing behind her pushing the cart, I'd like to cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Okay. She is definitely poisoned.
Okay.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Can I identify what that is?
Did you identify the poison before?
We did
The
not.
one,
We had,
what the creatures, the
Yep.
dragonkin had? No,
Yep.
No.
Okay.
But if it's within 30 feet of me, I would be able to see that also and identify that also.
Okay. And that's what I was asking.
He has samples.
He has samples. It's the same disease. You don't know what it is. But it's nasty. And you know that much. And you feel a sense of almost devastating power off of it. Much the same way as when you detect magic. And you can feel whether it's evil or good. This is living and mutating and changing. And both her and the body laying in the cart and the pustules that are inside of your bag identified the same way.
So I don't know what they are, but I just
You don't know what they are,
they are some kind of living evil.
but it's a living disease.
Has the pestilence from 300 years ago, is it still active and in the world, or did it kind of go away?
It went away. Up until dealing with the dragonborn that you dealt with the other day, you guys have not seen anything like this before.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, we can keep walking. I'll pick a different moment to talk about that.
Okay. So you guys approach, and as you guys get closer, you hear a familiar voice. Oi! You guys made it back. That's good to see. So, do you guys have any good news for me, or is it just all bad?
Isn't it always all bad?
That seems to be the way it goes for us.
We found humans.
You found
No,
what?
no, don't stop that. And listen to what I just said. We found humans. Zahara.
Multiple. Like,
Zahara. It's safe.
Hello. I suppose you are. Oh well, me. I'm Steph. How you doing?
Nothing better than making the DM talk to himself.
in a different accent than it was last time.
Is it?
You're more
Didn't she have
Irish
an?
than
Huh?
Irish than Cockney.
Whatever. I
Tell
quit.
tell the Irish that.
No, I mean just for me. Like whatever.
Okay.
I'll get it right eventually.
Yep. Now, Steph, that's why I was quiet. I had no idea who we were talking to. For a
No,
second.
sorry.
Now, Steph, he's had a real rough time. So, just give her a second.
Kid gloves, right? That expression?
I don't think
Kid
we have
gloves
time for
goblins
kid
are
gloves
really
around here
little.
now, lad. Do we?
Steph, the best I can tell, the best I've put together so far in our walk back, these were the ones that we were supposed to meet up with. They're from before, as in 300 years ago.
That
Yeah, yes, I know it doesn't make sense. We've been through this in the past day. She knows of the Steel Fist name, the Steel Fist Forge. She speaks of a week ago buying armor from my family. There's no way that's possible, but she insists upon it. She would not know the Steel Fist name after 300 years. Nobody outside of my family would know the Steel Fist name anymore. Nobody would know that there was a forge. They wouldn't know. They're,
Well, I suppose we should probably go inside and talk to old Greg.
How's he doing today?
Oh, he's having a good day. He hasn't been having as much of a problem, actually, last few days. He had a bit of a bout a while back, but otherwise he's doing good.
All right. Either of the other groups return?
There's one that came back. They didn't have much to report. They brought back a little bit of medicine and some food, which is nice. Kids enjoyed it. And they found a fruit tree that was blooming, so that's kind of cool.
Really?
I know, right? Hadn't seen a fruit tree in years. But,
That must be the sturdiest darn fruit tree you ever done see.
right? But they brought it in, and the kids are enjoying them. So we gave them they're a strange, round, red kind of fruit.
Yeah.
But
I'll be gosh darn.
so they plucked multiple baskets of it. They brought it all back, and they brought back more of those than they did anything else.
Well,
I'll be
that's,
damned I've never seen anything like it.
That is just a miracle. All kinds of crazy stuff showing up again. Would and I guess not to. So we were given information on these given information that the VIPs would meet there. Given no information about the VIPs themselves. When we mentioned that we thought that these were the VIPs, did Steph react at all? Because this seems, to me at least, really like these unconscious people were the VIPs.
She kind of raised
And
her
who was
eyebrow
bringing
with,
them?
really like humans, but like she had told you, she wasn't told who the VIPs were. She wasn't told. That wasn't her part. Her part was to send someone out and make sure they came back in, and if they got back in safely, that there was a possibility her daughter could make it to the Golden City.
Okay.
So she doesn't know who these VIPs were supposed to be. But it would seem odd that it would be them.
And I just wonder if these were the VIPs, who was carrying them? They were unconscious. All right. Well, let's bring him to meet old Greg. Let's bring him to meet Greg.
That sounds like a good plan.
Gregory, who's
I'm
not old Greg.
I'm old Greg. So, anyways, you guys head inside, and you head over to Greg's little makeshift hut thing. And you walk in, and he looks at, oh, well, welcome back. Welcome back. It's good to see you, Morg.
Hi, Gregory.
Hello.
It's really excellent to see you two.
It's nice to be feeling good today. Tell you what.
That is wonderful. Well, got some good news.
I always love good news.
I know you do. We went back to the camp where we had been accosted and detained, and we did find at least 2 individuals who may have been part of that party. I don't think that they were the ones leading the caravan. Those are still unaccounted for.
No?
But they are, well, we'll let one of them speak for themselves.
People of interest, for sure.
People of interest, for darn sure. Sarah, you had asked to speak with our leader. Well, for all intents and purposes, in this tent, this is Gregory. He leads a small ragtag band.
As a DM, I hate doing this to myself, and I keep doing it.
Well, you got to play all the NPCs, and I'll happily jump in and interject when I can, but I have no idea what information she knows. So
Okay. So, anyways, as she steps through the curtain and she steps in, you see Greg's eyes go wide. Well, I'll be damned. It's a human.
Tell you. You know, I was wondering, and it has always been this thought in the back of my mind of how old exactly are you? Now I know that you really are old Greg.
Well, you know.
No. Greg, I love you, buddy, but you're old.
And you're Gregory.
Well, I suppose I am, yes. Anyways, they said your name was Zahara? What?
Zasara.
Zasara. Oh. Yes, my name is Zasara. Now, you're the leader. You should know how to get me back to the Golden City. If you don't mind, I would like to return.
Not the same Golden City that my family's in, Gregory.
No,
Not this-
I know which one she speaks of.
You do.
Yes. Yes, I do. And judging by the mark on the back of her hand, I say I know what family she belongs to, too. Now, Zahara, give me one good reason why I shouldn't slit your throat where you stand. And you see as Greg stands up and reaches over and grabs a dagger off his desk and starts taking a step forward.
Whoa,
I step forward in front, in front of Zasara.
You-
Greg, I can't let you.
Gregory, buddy, I'm going to need
Gregory.
an explanation real quick here. I've known you for a
Every-
long time, and I trust you, but I need some info to go off of.
Everything wrong in this world is her family's fault. All of it. Because they were determined that they were going to have more power. They were going to push farther out to the east. They were going to do more. So they destroyed everything. They destroyed my family. And you see as he straightens up more, he loses that shake in his voice. The adrenaline, as it surges through his body, he almost looks younger with the anger. My wife died because of them. My son died because of them. My village doesn't exist anymore because of them. Give me one good reason not to slit her throat.
She is a child, and we are above that.
She is nothing more than trash that has been scourged on this earth, and you speak as if she is a child. She has to be as old as I am.
She has no power anymore. All of the structure, all of the garbage that you're talking about was gone centuries ago.
But yet you see that no one is able to be punished when the person that has caused it is in front of me?
Did she directly do it?
For as far as I know, yes.
This is a teenager who went shopping and took a long nap. Gregory, buddy, I hear you. I understand how upset this makes you. And you darn well know that if that black dragon showed up right here today, it would take every ounce of my power not to run right into its jaws to try to make it choke. But she has more answers to what the world was like before than we've ever had. You apparently do too.
I was a child.
And now you're
And
an
so
old
is
man.
she.
So don't act
Use
like
your
a child.
age
She is
and
older
wisdom.
than I am for when my family was taken from me.
Gregory, I cannot let you do this. There are too many questions. You're adding more questions to this situation right now.
You had a son at 17?
He had a son later in life.
Okay.
Like,
Just wanted to clarify.
later in life. He had a wife later in life, too. He's like 400, 500 years old.
I get it,
Like,
but she's...
he had a whole
for,
life.
For all cryogenic intents and purposes.
She's 17.
She's 17.
Where was I? Anyways, it's fine. Zahara, how are you here? I don't know. I don't know. I woke up in the back of the cart with these
Watch the M word.
with these gentlemen. And initially I blamed them for where I was. I assumed they kidnapped me for some nefarious purpose. But this isn't the land that I remember. This isn't... I don't understand. I don't understand. And that is where we're going to end episode 2. Thank you so much for everybody that came and joined us tonight. Thank you so much for everyone that has commented and let us know what your thoughts and everything is so far. Once again, please like, share, rate. Anyone that you think would enjoy this, share this with them. We are in the very early stages of developing this podcast. So every little bit of feedback, every little bit of somebody going, hey, this is really cool and I want to share it, makes a massive difference for us. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And we look forward to hearing from you guys again later. This was a Basement Dorks production.